Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to my garage Zero to Hero. Alright, so as you can see, Grandma decided to go ahead and buy this Mercedes after I have basically had a look at it very briefly in the last episode. So she's quite happy and we actually had a little bit of extra money to spend on it. So yeah, Grandma actually ordered a couple of parts from Minty, obviously with my assistance because I had to obviously tell her what parts to get. So yeah, what I'm doing this morning is just taking a couple of things apart and going through the body panels. There was a couple of things we needed to straighten out a bit, and Alan was kind enough to borrow the sledgehammer to me so that I was able to get these panels back straightened up. So this morning what we're going to do is we're going to go and pick up the parts that she ordered from Minty. Hopefully everything is ready. So we're going to try and get this, well, front corner, I believe. Yeah, that's basically the only thing we're going to sort out today on this car, just to get it running and driving a little bit better, and also make it a little bit more reliable for Grandma to start using it. So we are going to just close the garage door. We're going to be back in a bit, so I'm not even going to bother turning off the light just yet. So you might be wondering now, what did I do with the F100? So I was able to get the engine put back together, and I'm pleased to say that this thing is running a lot better now. So we are basically ready to start working today on Dennis's car, if we can finish with Grandma's car. Because as you may know, I took the day off, and yeah, there's not really much happening at Alan's shop today. We are still waiting for Spartan to confirm what he wants to have done to the Chevelle. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Grandma's old Lotta wagon over here. Just going to take it over to Minty's because we've got a couple of things we need to load into the car. And as you can see, our truck is a little bit occupied and it's loaded full of parts. So we're just going to go ahead and pick up these couple of things from Minty's. We're just going to reverse Grandma's wagon to there. Alright, and I think this is good. We'll just park up over here. Alright, so now there's another thing we need to talk about a bit. So this is basically Grandma's old car now, in other words. So what's going to happen with this now is Grandma actually gave me full control of the rebuild of this car, because we are going to fix this thing up to the best of our ability, and we are going to be spending a lot of money on this thing to get it basically restored completely. And then we are going to sell this thing on, and we are going to split the money 50-50 whatever we get out of this thing. So obviously, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of work because we need to cut out floor pans, and we're gonna have to do interior work. We still have to do some suspension work, and then there's going to be the issue of the rust on the body we need to address, and getting this thing painted. So it's going to be quite a bit of a project, but I believe once this thing is done, we should be able to get a little bit more money for it. So yeah, let's quickly go and see Minty and see if all of our parts are ready for collection.
Ah, FUNCLE, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Minty. I believe this should be everything we need for Grandma's car today. Alright, so I'm gonna just grab these smaller bits. We're going to pop them into our backpack over here. Alright, so we're gonna be replacing a couple of suspension parts on the front. So we should be able to get everything into the back of Grandma's trunk, or Grandma's old car's trunk. Let's grab the bumper. This is a new plastic bumper for the Mercedes. There we go, that is in. And we've also got the brand new fender for the front left we're going to be mounting. Alright, so there we go. Alright, thanks Minty. Appreciate it very much, bud. I will be back for some more parts once we are ready. So I'll see you again.
Say hello to your grandma for me.
Alright, will do. Alright, so the trunk didn't want to close properly, but we are just going to basically drive up to the house's garage and reverse up there so that we can get everything unloaded quickly. So yeah, we're not going to be driving all the way around with just a couple of meters to go, so we're going to just quickly go up this one-way street and just pull in here. Alright, we'll just park it over here. Yeah, I think this should do. We're gonna just reverse it a little bit back. Alright, let's just leave it right over there. Put it in neutral, put the handbrake on. Alright, and here we are. Let's get these parts unloaded. So obviously we would prefer to do the suspension work first of all, before we do anything else with the bodywork and such. So let's grab these parts and just set them down over here. Alright, and we are going to grab the steering link, which we also need to replace today. And then we've got a couple of things. So we've got the trim for the headlight. We obviously have got a new headlight as well. We've got a box of light bulbs for the headlight and for the blinkers. Going to replace the blinker and also this spring. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the spring, because I had to go and buy myself a spring compressor for this. I also had to swap the one out on our F100. Alright, so that is the new spring. Let's quickly get this compressed and pop it in. Alright. And we also need to replace the hub on this corner. So I also have to replace the brake hoses on the front. So obviously we've got these ones that came off our F100, which are still fairly decent. So we're going to pop these into place. And we'll just tighten it to the caliper, and then we'll remove the caliper right over there and there. Right, so that was the hub. Right, let's just get this caliper off as well, because we're going to need to remove this to get the hub back on. Alright, and grab the screwdriver. Let's quickly get this brake disc off. Alright, there we go. That is the brake disc. That is the old broken hub. Right, so now we've got our new hub and we've got the brake disc. Going to install it onto the new hub. And let's get this hub put back onto the car. So when I inspected the car, it was a little bit dark under it. I couldn't see everything properly, so I did a little bit more investigations and noticed that the hub carrier was in fact not damaged. It was the lower steering arm that we need to replace over here. So we're going to have to try and get that removed. I'm not sure if it's going to come out without the tie rod removed. So let's just go ahead and remove both the tie rods quick. It's very simple. And I must say it's actually very easy doing this job when the car is up on a lift. Yeah, we are playing a little bit of a guessing game by looking for all the bolts under the car like this. But there we go, we've got our tie rods out, and now I should be able to remove this steering link. If I can just figure out where this bolt is exactly. Let's see if we can find it from the top rather. There we go, that is a little bit easier. Alright, so there's the old rusty steering link. Just gonna put this on a pile as well. Alright, let's grab the new steering link. We'll get it into place just like that and bolt it down over there. And this one we'll just do from the top again. Alright, let's get our tie rod back in. Alright, and I should manage to get this tie rod tied down again from here. Alright, that bolt looks loose. No, but it's tight. Okay, so there we go. That is the other one. We're going to also replace this brake hose with the one that we've got on the table. So let's get this removed. I should actually just chuck the old one there as well. Alright, and here's the other brake line we've got. Let's get this one installed. Just like that. Bolt it up. Alright, so today we are not going to do any work on the rear suspension. As I mentioned, we are just trying to get this thing up and running for Grandma so that she can start driving it and having it look a little bit better. We are going to have to obviously paint the the fender and the hood. The bumpers are black plastic, so we're not going to bother with painting the bumpers. they are going to stay black because this is just the design of the car. So let's see how that matches up now. That looks much better actually. Alright, so let's grab our brand new fender. Just like that. Alright, and let's just see the gap. That looks much better. Definitely an improvement to what it was. Alright, so now obviously we need to get some light bulbs in. So I've checked the ones on the passenger side as well. They are all missing. So we're just going to go ahead and install light bulbs in all of these. Alright, there we go. It's a little bit tricky getting those in. As for the headlights, we also need to put in 4 headlight bulbs. Obviously the 2 for the new headlight, and also the passenger side headlight doesn't have any light bulbs in. So let's get these bulbs installed. Should be fairly easy if we can just get it into position like that. Alright, and that is the second one for the side. Let's quickly do the passenger side as well. Alright, so that is all of the headlights and light bulbs installed as well. So now we just need to install the bumper and the wheel, and yeah, I think this car should be ready for Grandma to start using it. Alright, let's get our bumper on, and let's just be sure to bolt them down very nicely. There we go. Alright, and then we are going to grab the front left wheel. Just going to install it back onto the car. So I've checked the tires. These tires are still very good. And I forgot to replace this tie rod, so we'll quickly get that back into place. And over there, that is perfect. And on this side, we are done. Everything is put back into place. Alright, I think that is definitely a job well done. I don't think I'm going to bother putting the BMW hubcap back onto the car. We're going to see if we can find a hubcap for Grandma, which is going to match the rest of the hubcaps on the car. So the last thing we need to do is just get the front license plate installed. And yes, I did transfer Grandma's tools over to the back of the Mercedes. Alright, so let's get this front license plate back onto the car where it belongs. And that is basically the cherry on the top. Well, at least for now. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to just lower the car down. And I would like to quickly take it for a short drive just to see if that pull to the left has been fixed. I'm quite confident that it would. So let's quickly go ahead and park Grandma's old Lada wagon over here. Alright, so there we go. We've parked Grandma's old Lada wagon. And now we are going to just neaten up a little bit here before we take this thing on a little bit of a drive. This book should probably go back into the car. The workshop manual we can keep around the shop. I must say that actually came in very handy with regards to stripping the front suspension over here. Alright, let's just see. Going to hop in. Just wait for the glow plugs. And there we go. Alright, so I see the handbrake was actually loosened. Alright, that already feels much better. Just by reversing this thing out of the garage. Can feel this thing is definitely not pulling to the left anymore. It is straight and true like an arrow. Alright, but let's just go get a little bit of speed with it. And then we'll bring it back to the house. Get it parked up in the garage again. Alright, and there we go. So Grandma's, well, not really brand new, but a new car is now running and driving like it's supposed to. It's definitely looking a little bit better, although we need to do a little bit of a paint job on this hood and the fender, obviously. So I might actually ask Alan for a small favor if we can get that sorted out at the paint shop maybe, and do it a little bit more professionally. I just want to do this a little bit better than I did my old Ford F100's fenders and the rear bin and stuff like that. We still need to figure out a couple of problems with the body over here on this quarter panel and the door, but it's not really something major. So that can easily be fixed up with a little bit of Bondo and yeah, just a lick of paint, and then this thing should basically look quite good again. And then obviously I'm going to look for that specific hubcap as well that we are missing. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these broken parts. We're going to take this over to Mill's as well. So Mill actually buys scrap and then he obviously sells it on again to I think a guy named Steve that he told me about. So I need to actually find out from this guy Steve how much he would pay me for this stuff directly. But yeah, obviously we don't want to cut Mill out because yeah, Mill is kind of the middleman with regards to scrappy parts. So yeah, let's quickly load up everything here. I should be able to get most of these things in the backpack. And then we are going to head over to Hugo's house after we picked up a rental trailer, which I still need to pay for. And talking about payment, Alan was actually here this morning and he dropped off my money for me. So yeah, I didn't have to go into the shop at all today. So yeah, that is quite nice of him. Alright, and let's just pop these things in the back of the truck. And then we're going to deliver this all to Mill. And then he's going to give us a couple of bucks for it. But I still owe Mill a bit of money for all the parts we took off the engine. So we might actually be able to, yeah, work out a deal with him. Alright, so this is the last part we are going to be taking over to Mill. So let's close up this garage. And yeah, obviously turn off the light because we're going to be away for a while now. Alright, so here we go. Let's jump into our truck. We are going to go and pick up a rental trailer. And we are also going to go and pick up Hugo's nephew's car, the 62 Impala. And see what other work we can do with that. Because obviously we agreed to do that job for him. So this is going to be our first private job. And there we go. Our F100 fired up without a problem. And it's also driving a little bit better since I replaced the front right coil spring that was broken. But yes, let's hit the road and go and pick up this trailer. And yeah, this thing isn't afraid of running over curbs.
Down by the old junkyard he found his first love, a 68 Ford like a gift from above. Rusted and broken, seen better days, but he saw a dream where others saw decay. Hands in grease, sleeves rolled tight, working through the day, torch in the night. Every bolt and screw a step to climb, learning a trade and biding his time. From rust to glory in a small town shade, turning riches, he's making his trade, bringing life to steel with a heart that's true. A boy in his truck, dreams coming through. More than just metal, it's a labor of love.
Alright, and here we are. So this is the trailer that I am going to rent for today, just to get Dennis's car over to the shop. So I'm quickly gonna go inside and just pay the rental fee, and hopefully at the end of the day we'll be able to get our deposit back for this. So let me quickly go and see this gentleman. Alright, and there we go, $500 for us to rent this trailer for the day. Obviously we are going to get our deposit back, which will be the half of that once we return the trailer. So let's quickly get this thing hooked up to our truck over here. Just like that. Actually doesn't look too bad. Alright, so the next stop would be Merle's. And then, yeah, we're going to head over to Hugo's house and just pick up his nephew's car. So let's hit the road once again.
Rebuilt engine roared like a second chance as he worked on that truck, found his own dance. Folks gathered round, couldn't believe their eyes as old Iron Beauty took to the skies. From worn out parts to a polished gem, that boy became a man right there.
Alright, and we are here at Mills. I'm just gonna knock on his door quickly and then we'll probably figure out a deal on the engine parts that we got off of him, and also return the rest of the parts, and also give him all of the scrap parts that we've got here. So yeah, let's see if Mill is in. Alright, so Mill was very happy with the parts that I brought him. He basically said that all the parts I gave him, the scrap parts, is enough of a payment for the parts we took out of his engine. He was also very pleased that I brought this BMW hubcap over, because he said this car he's trying to sell is actually missing one, so he asked me to just come and pop it on here for him. So apparently these things are a little bit hard to find. So there we go. Now Mill's BMW he's trying to sell is basically got all 4 of its hubcaps on. I don't know if it's really going to help the car. I think actually if he washed these cars up a bit, he might actually get a little bit more attention. But yeah, Mill is definitely trying to get rid of some of the vehicles over here. And yeah, I'm not sure how much this one is. It looks like the wind actually blew the sign off. So let's just go ahead and fix this for him. Alright, so he's asking 9k for this one. He's asking 7,000 for this truck. And yeah, he's looking to get 6,000 out of this BMW, which he got from Hugo, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, we have done enough, window shopping for now. We are going to hit the road, get over to Hugo's shop, Hugo's house, and go and pick up his nephew's car, Dennis. So yeah, let's head over there and see if we can get this thing over to our house safely without any problems.
A small town shade, turning rich as he's making his trade, bringing life to steel with a heart that's true. A boy in his truck, dreams coming through.
Alright, and here we are over at Hugo's house now. We've got our trailer in position, and yeah, we did a little bit of discussing, and yeah, so it turns out they've got a budget of $3,000 that they are willing to spend on the repairs on that car. So that's actually quite a good amount of money for minor work. So it depends on what else is wrong with this thing. So we are going to see if we can get this thing loaded. I'm gonna probably have to do it in reverse now. There's not really a lot of space in this yard. Oh, there we go. Alright, I think that should be good. So I'm not sure if we are perfectly in position. I think we are. So let's get this thing lowered down quick before it starts sliding down. Alright, I think that actually went quite well. Didn't expect it to go so smooth. I do want to get myself one of those ramp trucks one day, because this is definitely a little bit of strain on our little F100 here. But I'm pretty sure it'll do the job. So let's just stand back a little bit and, yeah, admire our first private job that we are about to tackle. Alright, so let's get this handbrake loosened up over here. And hopefully everything is going to be alright on the way back to the house. Because, yeah, this is our first job. And I am quite keen to start working on this thing. Once I can jump in over here. There we go. Alright, and let's get this thing fired up and take it back to our house so we can dig into this car and see what it needs. Alright, and we are back at the house, and I see Grandma left already, so yeah, I decided to just pull it into the garage, because otherwise we were just going to work outside the garage and probably try not to make this thing so that we can't move it out of the way. But yeah, luckily we've got access to the garage at the moment. So yeah, I did pop the hood just to have a quick look and see if there's anything obvious we need to fix up on this thing. So we're definitely going to need a new battery. So that is definitely going on the shopping list, as well as a header for the right hand side of the engine, because I noticed there's a little bit of an exhaust leak on this side when I was pulling this thing into the garage. So I also want to check underneath the car if there's going to be any suspension work, because in terms of bodywork there's absolutely nothing wrong with this thing. So let's get this car lifted up a bit on this side, and we will get these wheels removed so that we can see what is going on with suspension. Alright, so there we go. That is the one wheel, and let's also just remove this one. Alright, so yeah, it doesn't look too bad under here. We've got a worn shock absorber, a worn main brake line we need to replace. So let's get this shock absorber removed. We'll see if we can go and get these parts maybe before the shop closes. I think Minty closes at 6 o'clock tonight, so we'll see. Alright, and we've got to get a main brake line, which I'm going to have to unbolt all 4 of the brake hoses. We'll also check on other things we see as we are removing parts of this car. So far I can only see these few things. We've got a bad oil pan on this engine too. Right, if we loosen that one, and then we can come and loosen it over here on the main, or on the master cylinder rather. Let's just get the right bolt undone. Alright, perfect. So that's our second part we need to purchase for this car. We can probably get the battery out as well. So let's just disconnect the negative and then the positive. Alright, just like that. Alright, so we'll get a new battery for him. Alright, so everything else looks decent on this side. Let's just maybe remove the caliper and check the brake pads. The brake disc looks good. Yeah, the pads still look good on this corner, so we are good to put it back. Alright, I don't think there's anything else wrong that I can see. Nothing obvious. So yeah, even the hubs look good on this side. So let's get this wheel installed back onto the car just for now, because we want to see if we can lift it up on the opposite side. Alright, and over here we're going to do a tie rod. So we definitely have got a bad tie rod on this end. Going to replace that for him. Alright, and let's quickly investigate the brake caliper and the pads in here. Gonna see what is cooking under here. Alright, and once again the brakes actually seem pretty decent on this car so far. It was just the main brake line that wasn't looking too healthy. Alright, and I think now we can get this wheel back on, and we're gonna go around to the other side and just jack it up. Alright, over to the other side. We've got the jack under the car. Let's lift it up on this side and just quickly see what we can find that needs to be replaced. Alright, and straight off the bat we can tell there's a bad caliper on this end. So we'll have to replace the caliper and also the brake pads. So yeah, that means we are going to have to buy a set of brake pads for the front. So we are going to hopefully use this brake line again. It looks decent, so we'll just put it one side over there for now. Yes, we are going to get some brake pads as well. And let's see what else we need. Alright, so this wheel hub is definitely looking a little bit tired, and so does the brake disc. So we should actually just remove this as a whole. There we go. So we'll get a new brake disc and a hub and see if we can get that installed back onto the car. Alright, and then on this corner, let's just see over here, we've got everything that looks kind of decent. Brake pads, let's just quickly investigate this last caliper. Alright, so everything looks good back here. We don't have any issues on this corner. Alright, so let's get this wheel put back onto the car. Perfect. And what I'm going to do is, before I leave, I'm quickly going to drain the oil, because we're going to replace the oil pan on this engine. And that way we will also be able to see if there's any other problems internally on the engine from the bottom of the engine. I'm not sure how deep we should go with the clutch. If the clutch is also worn, we might have to remove the transmission, which is going to be quite hard with us only having a little floor jack. But yeah, we definitely need a header for that side, so we'll get one of those. Alright, in terms of visual inspection, I don't see anything else wrong. Yeah, wait a minute, there's a busted pulley on the front. So let's get this removed. Alright, I'm just trying to grab this pulley out from under the car. There we go. Alright, so I've got it out. So we need to replace this pulley as well. Alright, so next we are going to just pull the plug. We're going to drain the oil from the engine. And we're also going to replace the engine oil. And let's not lose this little oil cap. Alright, so that is good. So while the oil is draining, let me quickly do a recap on what parts I need to go and buy so that I can make sort of a list for myself. So I think I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper that I've got over here. Alright, and we are back with all of the parts we need for Dennis's car. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the clutch plate again, because that's the last part that we were able to take off. So we're going to need our wrench over here. Let's grab our clutch plate and get it onto the flywheel. And then we'll grab our pressure plate and just start bolting this back together. Alright, let's also come from the top again for these few bolts. And there's one more we need to go over to this side for. Just like this. Alright, so our clutch plate is back into place. And yeah, I nearly forgot about this part. We nearly kicked that into oblivion. So I think what I'm going to do next is probably going to be the header. And then we're going to get that installed. Then we'll go under the car, we'll get the pistons back in, and we will also get the oil pan fitted again. Right, so that is quite simple. Let's get our exhaust back on. Perfect. And now, yeah, let's get this brake disc mounted to there as well in the meantime. Screwdriver is that one. Right, perfect. So that is ready to go. Let's get these pistons back in under the engine. Right, so one goes on this side. Perfect. And let's grab the other one. That goes over there. And then we've got a piston here at the front we need to replace. So let's get that into position. Right, there it is. Let's get our oil pan back on now. Alright, and next up, to finish off all of the engine work, we are going to mount the front pulley over here again. And that is basically sorted. So now we need to do the battery over here. We're going to connect up the positive and also the negative again. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to do the brake pads in this caliper as well, so that that is ready to go on. Let's get our hub back on. Bolt it down. And before we forget, let's actually just get this transmission back in. Alright, let's get our starter bolt. Go around this side. We're going to bolt it down over there. And let me quickly go and tighten up the bolts on the drive shaft and over here on the transmission. Alright, so we've got all of the bolts back onto the drive shaft, and now we can do our tie rod. Tie rod is actually for the other side. should manage to get it on over here. Just like this. Perfect. Alright, so next up would be our main brake line. And let's bolt it down over there. And let's go quickly install the brake line for that wheel. Alright, let's get this into position. Right over there. Bolt that down. And then we'll get our caliper back on. Perfect. And then we can grab our front wheel for here, because we are basically done on this corner. So we need to change the brake pads on this side still, so we can go ahead and do that in a bit. But let's quickly get this shock absorber mounted at the back. We've got it over here. And yeah, I'm just struggling to find a position for this. There we go. Alright, perfect. And let's just do the brake lines while we are over here. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and lower this thing on that side. And we'll get it lifted up on the passenger side again. Alright, so our wheel has been removed. And let's quickly get this caliper unbolted here. Alright, so we've got our caliper removed. Let's grab our pry tool, because we are going to replace these brake pads. The only reason why we are replacing these are because we had to do the opposite sides brake pads, obviously. So let's just replace the two on this side as well. There we go. Alright, and this one as well. So that pad is actually very good. This one is a little bit worn, so it's worth keeping them around the shop just in case we need it. Or not really around the shop, but around the garage. And let's bolt it up there. And also, yeah, this top bolt. There we go. We've got it. And let's get our wheel back onto this corner. And I believe that should be everything. This car has been basically sorted out. The only thing that I need to do now is just top up the fluids, but I'm sure I'll be able to do that off camera. But that is going to be where I leave this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every like. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I will appreciate it very much. But yes, until the next time, cheerio.